The title of this video says the top 5 things you must do in order to be successful in any business. But I'm actually going to give you 6 things because there are actually 6 and not 5, and I want to give you a bonus one because I'm full of happiness and joy. So in this video, I'm going to give you the critical 6 things you need to do in order to be successful in business. I have run many companies. I have been profitable in every company I have ever started, going all the way back to my early 20s. I have been a 6-figure entrepreneur for most of my life. I've been a business consultant for 25 years. I've worked with literally hundreds of companies. This is something I know a little about. So I'm going to give you all this in this video. I am, of course, Caleb Jones. This is Alpha Male 2.0. I make a multi-6-figure location independent international income while dating multiple attractive women, and I show men like you how to do the same thing. And part of having a good income is being good at location independent income, which means you probably have your own business, preferably your Alpha 2.0 business, which is the business structure we discuss here at Alpha Male 2.0, where you're making a decent amount of money, at least $75,000 a year or more, location independent, so you can go wherever you want, be wherever you want, and the money still keeps coming in regardless of where you are in the world. So there's a concept called key result areas. This is very important. And when you learn this, it will change your life because it changed mine when I learned this about 20 years ago or so. That is, in any particular skill set. So it could be anything. It could be sales. It could be business. It could be dating. There are always 5 to 7 things you need to be good at in order to get results in that area. So if you're talking about dating women, there are 5 to 7 things you need to be good at to make that work. If we're talking about managing long-term non-monogamous relationships, there are 5 to 7 things you need to be good at in order to make that work. If we're talking online dating, there are 5 to 7 things you need to be good at in order to make that work. If you're talking about sales, having your own business, investing, any of those things, there's always 5 to 7 things, just about, that you have to be good at in order to make that work. So in this video, I'm going to cover the 6 things, 5 to 7, it's 6 right in the middle. The 6 things that you need to be good at, or at least decent at, in order to make good money. So I'm going to list all 6 right now. And at the end of the video, I will give you the most important one for business longevity. That is, so you can start a business and it stays in business for a long, long time. Most businesses, you've seen the statistics, most people go out of business very quickly. If you want to stay in business for a long time, you want to do number 6 at the end of this video. So here are the 6. Before I get into the 6 really fast, I've numbered them, but the number doesn't matter. The number has nothing to do with the priority. You need all 6 to some degree. They're all important, and they're all equally important, although I think number 6 is the most important. But they are equally important. So yes, I've numbered them. That doesn't mean number 1 is better and number 2 is more important than number 5. They're all equally important. You need all 6 of these things to make a business work. Certainly if your goal is to make high income, much beyond the $75,000 Alpha Male 2.0 minimum. Cool? Cool. Okay. Number 1, again, not number 1 in priority, just number 1 on this list, is customer satisfaction. How well do your customers like you? How well do your customers like the products and or services that you sell them? How do you handle customer complaints? Do you get a lot of referral business, word of mouth business? Do you get a lot of repeat business from your customers? Are your customers talking about you in a positive way to other people? All these things factor back to customer satisfaction, not customer service. Customer service is a subset of customer satisfaction. Again, I said not just how much customers like you or how you handle customer problems, but do you get repeat sales? When you get a customer, is that customer a customer for life, or do they buy one thing and they run away and they never see you again? That's customer satisfaction. The better you do in this, the less customers you need in order to make a high income. When I talk about things like consulting, and I've been a consultant for a long time, the beauty of consulting is that you only need a few big clients to make a lot of money. If you sell high margin products or services, online or offline, doesn't matter. You don't need that many customers, especially if your customers really like you, do a lot of repeat buying, and refer you to others. It's kind of nice. By the way, if you want to know how to handle trouble customers, you can click this video here on how to handle problematic customers. I go through the 3 categories of problematic customers. You should watch that video. It's kind of important because customer satisfaction is one of the 6 key result areas you must be good at, or at least decent at, in order to make good money as a business owner. Number 2, and this one's probably the most obvious one. This is economic gain. Are you making money? Pretty simple. Are your profits high? Are your sales high? And remember, there's a distinct difference between profit and gross sales. A lot of business owners screw that up.
You stupid.
Are you making a good profit? Are you good at controlling expenses? Do you have profit at the end of the year? Are you good at managing your internal expenses? How's your debt looking in terms of your business, your credit lines, things like that? Do you know how much money you're making? Do you review your profit and loss statements all the time, like I do in all my companies? Do you know which of your products and services, if you have several of them, are the most profitable and or the least profitable? Do you know how much money you're making per project or per offering? Do you know these numbers? All these things are critical. You need to not only be making money, but know for a fact and see on paper in black and white that you're making money. I have worked with hundreds of companies, and believe me, I have worked with a lot of business owners who thought they were making a lot of money. And once you actually dig deep into the numbers, you realize they weren't making very much money at all, and in some cases they were losing money because they didn't know what numbers to look at, they didn't know how to run their own damn business. And of course, you have a lot of entrepreneurs who don't make any money because they don't want to sell, they don't want to market. Oh, I don't do marketing, that's beneath me. I don't do sales, I went to college. That's stupid. Make money and know you're making money. Economic gain is number 2 on this list. It is a critical component, obviously, of being successful in business. And the sad part about this is there are a lot of business owners who are very good at what they do in terms of the product or services they build or create, but they're terrible at making money. Matter of fact, that is probably the norm in terms of people who start new companies. They're real excited about their widget, they're real excited about the thing they're gonna do, but then they don't know how to make any money. They don't know how to market, they don't know how to sell, they don't know how to manage expenses, they don't know how to read a profit and loss statement, they don't know shit. And so they go out of business. Big shock. Number 3 on the key critical results list is product quality. Now, there's a lot of confusion about what the word quality means. Quality does not mean fancy. Quality does not even mean robust. It doesn't. Quality means one thing and one thing only. Does your product or service do what you say it does? That's it. If it does, and it does the vast majority of the time, that's quality. A McDonald's hamburger is a quality product. What? Yes. A McDonald's hamburger, in terms of a burger you can buy for $1.50, is very high quality because it tastes good and it's an environment that is reliable. And if it didn't, there wouldn't be a McDonald's in every city on planet Earth. McDonald's is a high quality business for a business that sells hamburgers that cheap. If you want something that is different or more fancy, you would go to a more expensive restaurant and pay $8 or $12 or $20 for a very fancy burger. And maybe that's quality, maybe it isn't, depends on the restaurant. But you see my point. Quality means, does your product or service do what you say it does? And then the second question is, how often? Does it do it every once in a while? Does it do it 2% of the time? That's probably not good, right? Does it do it the vast majority of the time? That's good. No product will probably do it 100% of the time. 100% perfection is not something that exists in the real world of human beings. But it should do it the vast majority of the time. Well, Caleb, what if I sell information and the vast majority of people who buy my information don't do what they're told, therefore only a small percentage of people actually get the results? I relate to that personally because I sell information, and any information marketer, any author, any nonfiction author, any content provider will tell you this is pretty much the same thing when they do the tracking. Only a small percentage of their audience actually does the things they tell them to do. But the question is not whether or not your audience does what you tell them. The question is, if they do what you tell them to do, does it work? And in my case, I know that answer was a resounding yes. I've talked to thousands and thousands of men here at Alpha Male 2.0 who have gotten amazing results in their woman lives and their business lives because of the techniques we teach here. So I sell a quality product. Even back in the olden days, years and years ago, when I was selling Black Dragon dating manuals, these were ebooks on how to date women and first dates and online dating and things like that. I still have those books, but they're newer versions now. But back when they were the original old versions, they had a lot of typos. And a tiny percentage of the audience was very angry at me for having typos. But you know what? I still made a 6-figure income selling those books full of typos. You know why? Because it was a quality product. It did what I said it did. If you followed those procedures for online dating, they worked. If you followed those procedures for first and second dates or managing long-term non-monogamous relationships, they worked, and they still work. So it was a quality product. Now that doesn't mean you want your production to be shoddy either. Obviously you want to clean that up as well. My current books today don't have typos, or if they do, they're very hard to find. So I clean that up later. But you get my point. Quality is, does the thing you're selling do what you say it does, and how often? Another aspect of quality is, how does it do this as compared to your direct competitors? Now, if you follow my advice, you're going to niche. You're going to be in a niche where ideally, most likely, you are the only person in that niche, which means you really don't have competition, or at least direct competition. My example is, how many other guys are on the internet teaching men how to date multiple women all at the same time, long-term, in a recurring fashion for years and years with low drama? Name 5. Shit, name one more other than me. Right, so I'm pretty well niched. I don't have to worry about this. At least not in that business. I have several businesses and several income streams. You get my point. By the way, if you want to start your own location independent business, you should go right now to locationibusiness.com. That is my Alpha 2.0 business course. That is my video course where I show you exactly step-by-step instructions, even if you're brand new, how to start your own location independent business selling products, information, or services. Either one of those things, any of those things you want, go to that webpage, check it out. It will help you a lot. A lot of guys have gotten that course. A lot of guys have gotten a lot of results from that course. Strongly recommend it. Number 4 on this list is people building. People building, what's that? Are you managing, encouraging, inspiring, and working with your employees? And in Alpha 2.0, we don't have employees, we have subcontractors. Subcontractors, suppliers, vendors, so they produce the best work when they work in your company. How good of a manager are you? How positive of a person are you to work with? How well, on a technical basis, do you manage all their to-do items? How do you know they're getting their work done and getting their work done on time? How well are the people you work with doing in your business? Could they do better? How could they do better? And how can you help them do better? Critical. Now, if you have a one-man show where you never hire anyone, you never outsource anything, that's fine, but it's very unlikely you're ever going to make any more than about $60,000, $70,000 a year. If you're really lucky, if you want to make decent money, you're going to have to outsource. We have an entire webinar we did on that recently. You need to outsource, which means you need to be able to manage people correctly. This is a key result area, and I personally know, boy, do I know guys like this, including some online guys. I won't mention names. I personally know some guys who are really good business people who are selling a really high quality product or service that really works for people, but they're terrible managers. And they're limiting their growth, and they will never make a good amount of money because they don't know how to manage, or they don't want to manage, or they think managing is stupid, or what have you. This is a key result area. You've got to get good at this, or at least decent at it. You don't have to be amazing at it, but you got to be decent at it. Once you get to the big income or the bigger income, you can actually hire a business manager like I have, so that person can manage your staff for you. But when you're getting ramped up, you're going to have to do this yourself to some degree, which means you need some level of skill in this area. And even if you hire managers, you have to manage the managers, right? Right. Speaking of people, here's something you have to do. You need to subscribe to this channel. You need to click the dumb notification bell. You need to like this video, and you should leave a comment on this video, even if you disagree with me, even if you have nothing to say, just say hi. I don't care. The more interactivity I get on this content, the more of this content I will produce for you guys. So if you want more of this stuff, do those 4 things. It'll just help you. Number 5, and this is one a lot of people overlook, is organizational development. How well does your overall business function? Does your business have a specific set of regular benchmarks, quarterly objectives, an overall mission that all the people, including you, are working towards? Are the people who manage your business, including you, in harmony with those objectives? Do the people you work with, are they in harmony with those objectives? Are the things that you are doing on a weekly basis in harmony with those objectives? There are a lot of business owners that have a staff, and the staff is pretty good, but the business owner is doing a bunch of stupid SW work that he shouldn't be doing, so he's not in harmony with his own objectives. That is a very common problem. Are the right people in the right seats? Sometimes you'll have someone who is really technically experienced in one area who really should be in a different area in your business, or maybe not even working for you at all. Do the people who work with you, are they aware of the overall mission of the business? Do you communicate this on a regular basis to the people that you work with? Do you remember it yourself? Because again, business owners can forget it. Matter of fact, that's almost the norm. That's typical. You need to have an organizational structure where the entire business is geared to move in the same direction. And you're constantly moving in the same direction, which means everyone is aware of that direction and they're actually moving in that direction. And if you don't know how to do that, you better learn how, because it's going to be a mess once you get to the point where you're actually hiring people and outsourcing work. Last one, number 6, and this is the one I consider the most important for business longevity, having a business that lasts a long, long time so you don't go out of business. And number 6 is innovation. Innovation means creating new products and services for your customers to purchase from you based on the things that they need. Are you constantly in R&D? Are you constantly in development? Are you developing new ideas, new techniques? Are you discovering new techniques and new ideas that you can sell to your audience, to your existing customers, and or to new customers or new markets you want to open up? Or are you like the typical business owner? We have 1 or 2 or 3 things you sell, and that's all you sell, and that's all you ever sell. And so you make a little money at the beginning, and for a while you make money, but then sales peter off because you have nothing else to sell, you have nothing else to talk about, and then you start going out of business and you start losing money. That's most business owners. You should be constantly developing your audience, which means you need to be constantly feeding your audience with things they want based on things they ask for. Most business owners are really good at developing 1 or 2 or 3 products or services or pieces of information, and that's all they really know how to do, and they really don't want to do it again. Hey man, I wrote my book, I don't want to write another book. Hey man, I did my course, I don't want to make another course. Hey man, I invented my product, I don't want to sell more products. F that. And so they have all kinds of problems down the road in terms of staying in business. These are people who generally go out of business relatively quickly after a brief amount of success, or they're constantly pivoting to other types of businesses because they don't know how to innovate within their own company. You've got to be good at this. You have to be good at listening to your audience, listening to your customer base, and finding out what they need and giving it to them. You should be constantly doing this over the long haul, and that will ensure you're in business for a long, long time. Now that you know the 6 areas, what you should do is rate yourself. You should rate yourself on how well you are, maybe on a scale from 1 to 10, on each of these 6 areas. And to just give you an example, I will rate myself. I will rate myself on these examples. So I have the list right over here. So in terms of customer satisfaction, I am good. I'm good at that. I used to be mediocre at that. Now I'm pretty good. I'm not perfect. We could be a little better, but we're still pretty damn good at that. Number 2, economic gain. I am awesome at that. I am awesome, awesome, awesome. No problems there. It could always be better. I'll never be perfect. I could always make more money, but I'm very, very good at that. I pay attention to my numbers all the time. I have a constant focus on growth and innovation of my companies. I'm very good at economic gain. That's one of my personal strengths. Product quality, I am good. I am not great. I could really, really go crazy and make the products absolutely perfect, but sometimes there are some flaws in my products. But in terms of doing what the products say they will do, they work. They work if guys do them. Most guys won't do them, but they work. So in terms of that, on a scale from 1 to 10, I'm a 9.5 on that. Very, very happy with that. Let's see. Number 4, people building. I am not that great. So what I did a while back is I hired the Ginger Ninja, and she runs my staff now. On a scale of 1 to 10, she is an 8 or a 9. I am probably a 4 at that. That's just not my natural strength. But see what you can do. When you're weak in a certain area, you can hire someone to bolster that weakness. That's what I did. Next one is organizational development. That is a mediocre area for me. I'm okay at that. I'm usually pretty good, but sometimes I falter as I get busy. And so I try to remind the people in my business what our mission is, but I could do a better job at that. So I'm decent at that, but I certainly could be better. Number 6, innovation. I'm amazing at that. That is my natural skill set. I am very good at creating content based on what people want. I am very good at listening to my audience and giving them what they want. I am very good at creating new content. Matter of fact, that is my superpower. You could give me a topic that I'm aware of, as long as I'm decent at it, and you could give me a 1-sentence topic and I could develop an entire course on that and make money doing it. So I am very, very, very good at innovation. That is definitely one of the things I'm good at. On a scale from 1 to 10, I'm an 11 at that. So the good news is, you don't have to be amazing at all 6 of these things. You just need to be at least decent at all 6 of these things. And I do very well financially with my businesses, and I've had a lot of business experience. So I'm not, and clearly I'm not perfect. You have to be aware of these 6 things and build them constantly. And as you might suspect, you might be naturally good at 2 or 3 of these, or 1 or 2 of these, and naturally weak at 1 or 2 others. And those are the areas you need to bring up and or outsource to help bolster that weakness. If you want some ideas on how to choose an industry or niche for your business, you can click this video right here. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Bye.